Top of the morning to ya! Today on CSR, the Lady Gators host the Stanislaus Warriors in a tight doubleheader. The Dons closer, Patrick McGuigan, closes out to the Georgetown Hoyas. Our very own Zora Ziani sits down and gets March Madness predictions from those who have been there, Golden State Warriors Mike Dunleavy and teammates. And we look at Tommy Morrison's controversial return to boxing. That and more coming up.
Hello and welcome to the special St. Patrick's Day edition of CSR.
I'm Jeff Hudspeth, and I thought we agreed to grow matching beards.
I'm Ryan Donk, and I made no such agreement.
That just makes me sad. We start off this week's show with San Francisco State softball. After a hailstorm postponed the action this weekend, the Gators hosted Cal State Stanislaus in a doubleheader on Monday. We go to the new softball field as the Lady Gators look to come back from 2 straight losses to Bakersfield last weekend. Top of the second, the Warriors' Jessica Scholl grounds into this 4-6-3 double play. Gators playing some solid defense in this game. And we move on to the top of the third. Sonia Garnett strikes out Megan Law looking. Garnett had 9 Ks in her 13th complete game in 14 starts. Bottom 4, Jordana Freemer at the plate, knocking this single in her right. She would go 2 for 3 with this RBI as Vanessa Rodriguez crosses the plate to put the Gators ahead 1-0. Top of the 7th, Sarah Shamblin grounds into Monica Amberjay, who tosses it to Nicole Ciramelli for the final out as the Gators take the first game of the doubleheader 1-0.
We go to the second half of the doubleheader. Warriors will strike first on a sac fly by Casey Stevenson, putting the Warriors up 1-0. There's a comebacker to the mound, and look, there's a play at the plate. Oh my God! Got her. Believe it or not, that's the Gators' highlight of the game. It was all downhill after that. Stanislaus started raking. Megan Frankson has warning track power, and Sarah Shamblin doubled to the gap. She brought home Amanda Paniche. The Gator pitchers, they had nothing going on. They were getting lit up. Mental errors too. Freshman pitcher Caitlin Kleinsball gets away, allowing yet another Warrior run. The onslaught will continue. Roberta Argott's 2-run double capped a 5-run third inning, putting the Warriors up 6-2. Megan Frankson wasn't done. She sealed the deal with this long fly. She went 4 for 4 and was a triple away from the cycle. The Warriors will win the game 7-3. The Gators split the home conference doubleheader and will be heading to Sonoma State to take on the Seawolves this Thursday.
Magic Johnson returned to the NBA despite being HIV positive. But should athletes in contact sports be able to? Kana Yanai steps into the ring to investigate HIV in the world of boxing.
In 1996, ex-heavyweight boxer and Rocky V star Tommy Morrison tested positive for HIV and shortly after announced his retirement from the sport. A decade later, Morrison is trying to get back into the ring and launch a comeback. With the fear of being exposed to HIV, I asked local fighters if they would step into the ring with an HIV-positive boxer. Miguel Lopez of 3rd Street Boxing Gym had this to say.
I would not want to fight. They can't pay me. I don't care how much money. You could be millions and millions of dollars. You will not be able to pay me to fight somebody who has HIV. I'm sorry. It's you know, if I get a cut, he get a cut, our face can rub together, and I can catch it like that. And I wouldn't want to do it.
Another fighter, Chris Carriasso, had similar thoughts.
I wouldn't want to. Just you know, there's just too much contact involved. I don't think that it's safe.
A man with HIV that has HIV, he should not be fighting. Maybe he should probably think about becoming a trainer. You know, try to give back to the community. You know, teaching kids, teaching other people. You know, like self-defense, how to fight. You know, but he should just leave boxing alone. You know, just think about doing something else. He should actually have some type of consideration of other people.
Tommy Gunn, my favorite from Rocky. Morrison is planning to file a lawsuit against the Nevada State Athletic Commission to regain his boxing license.
Coming off a horrible outing on Sunday where Gator pitchers gave up 24 runs in a 2-loss doubleheader at Cal State Stanislaus, the SFSU men hosted the Warriors on Monday, hoping to flip the script. We take it to the Swamp. Gator first baseman Philip Gerard hits a grounder down the line. Third baseman Kyle Bonvecchio muffs it. The error brings home DJ Stacy, putting the Gators up 2-0 in the bottom of the second. David Phillips keeps it going for the Gators, bringing home Casey Garrison in the third to go up 5-0. The Warriors will fire back, though, as A.J. Valentine goes Gandhi in the fourth with a solo job, making it 5-1. We go to the bottom of the 8. Trust me, we will go. And Gator catcher Matt Kavanaugh smacks a double to right, knocking in 2. Kavanaugh went 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs. He has 15 on the year. The Gators went up 9-2. Chris LeBoeuf tries to get the Warriors going late with a 3-run jack, but it just was not enough. The Gators go on to win 9-5.
And it's the Gators taking the field for game 2. We see Stanislaus start hot. Top of the first, Tony Marks driving this one into center. Marks would have 3 RBIs in this one, starting with Chris LeBoeuf coming in here, which would put the Warriors up 1-0. Stanislaus would look to keep it going, but Derek Semper would put a stop to it as he spears the liner from A.J. Valentine, doubles it up, and it's time for the Gators to go to work. Bottom 3, Semper comes to the plate and doubles in Jonathan Combs. Semper getting it done on both sides in this game. The Gators would put 5 runs on the board in the third to take the lead 5-2. Top of the 5th, A.J. Valentine flies to center, but Jason Dean cannot get the glove on it. The E8 leads to Chris LeBoeuf scoring the third of his 4 runs in this game. Tied at 6 apiece in the bottom of the 7th as Philip Gerard steals second, putting the winning run in scoring position. And on the very next pitch, Jason Dean makes up for his error by slicing this pitch down the third base line. Gerard motors towards home, and the Gators take game 2 by a score of 7-6. After taking both games of the doubleheader, the Gators improve their record to 8-11. They look to continue their winning ways as they take on Western Oregon University in Monmouth this weekend.
Even though there's no collegiate soccer and basketball right now, students at SFSU are still finding a way to play through intramurals.
At San Francisco State University, there are 26,995 students enrolled. Of the near 27,000 students, 201 are student athletes. These athletes participate on 9 different sports teams and travel up and down the CCAA to compete. So where does that leave all the other students who wish to compete? Well, they gather up here at the Swamp for intramurals. While most of these students aren't on any SF State sports teams, many of which used to play sports and still have that competitive drive. But that's not the only reason why these students come out to play.
It's a stress relief. It lets me get out my energy, you know. After studying, I need something to relax, you know, get my mind off school. You know, working full-time and going to school full-time is pretty stressful. So, yeah, I don't know. Intramurals is a great thing for students.
I do commute, so it's hard for me to get some exercise in with school and work. So having intramural sports is a good way to, you know, keep me healthy.
Intramurals provide an arena for non-student athletes to display their athletic prowess. With 3 different levels of play, anyone can participate without feeling pressure. While there are those who play strictly for the satisfaction of victory, others play for a release from work and school.
Most definitely a release, you know. I'll come home from a long day, and like today I went from like straight through 9 to 5, so I definitely look forward to coming out here and playing some soccer.
Intramurals also provide something that college-sanctioned athletics don't allow: co-ed sports. Some of the females who come out to play enjoy that competition.
It's fun. It makes it a little bit more challenging, and I don't know, it makes it, yeah, more just challenging, and it's fun being the only girl because it's not sissy.
Currently, the NCAA tournament is creating a lot of excitement, but students don't have to sit around and be a spectator to feel the buzz. Here at San Francisco State University, students are creating their own excitement by participating in intramurals. This is Kevin Liu reporting, CSR.
If you would like to take part in intramurals, soccer is on Mondays, volleyball on Tuesdays. Wednesdays is basketball and tennis. Intramurals go through May until mid-May. We'll be right back with more College Sports Report action after these very important messages. Do not touch that dial.
Or my Lucky Charms.
My name's Penny. I think people shouldn't do drugs. They can make you forget things, like which animals have stripes. Anybody might get clumsier, so you can't jump rope as good. Drugs can get you in big trouble. You could go to principal's office or go to jail. Then you can't watch TV or eat pizza. Recess is good. Hamsters are good. Birthday parties are real good. Drugs are bad. I wouldn't do drugs.
Now, kid, be cool. You just give the stuff to your best buddies. Tell your friends it's a great high. Tell them it can't hurt them.
I can do that.
Just give it away. And you see who comes back for more.
And then I start charging.
You're a smart kid. You have a good day at school, Billy boy.
Welcome back. We hope you enjoyed the commercials. We certainly enjoyed these delicious beverages.
Why'd you let me eat all that corned beef?
Jeff, I'm not answering that question.
With March Madness in full swing, our own Zora Ziani had a chance to sit with 4 former NCAA players who are now with the Warriors to get their thoughts on the tourney.
Smart, Calbert Chaney, Mike Dunleavy, and Jason Richardson of the Golden State Warriors have all competed in the NCAA tournament for the national title. We will take an inside look at their March Madness memories as well as this year's tournament.
Probably an exciting time for you, Sweet 16 your freshman year, national title sophomore year, and making it to the Final Four your last year. How did you prepare yourself going into the tournament?
You know, it was always a fun time of the year. I think the main thing is you can't get caught up in all the hype. You know, for us, I think with Coach K, he always did a great job of keeping us focused.
The 1987 Indiana Hoosiers won the national title thanks to Keith Smart's game-winning jumper. 6 years later, Calbert Chaney was named Player of the Year after the Hoosiers made it to the Final Four.
I was very fortunate to play at a school that had already won championships and played for a Hall of Fame coach in Bob Knight. Once we got to the tournament, getting ready for the tournament, he was really calm and relaxing. So you never really felt the pressure of the tournament or getting ready for a game or a season because he was the ultimate pressure guy.
In terms of like the university and the tradition and everything, I mean, you're definitely playing, you know, for that name that's on your jersey. A lot of excitement at the same time. You know, we had a job to do, and that's try to win the basketball game. Unfortunately, we came up short against Duke. It was something I relished, and I had a good time doing.
What memory sticks out the most for you when you played at Michigan State?
We won a national championship my freshman year. Nothing like it. You work so hard to get to that goal, and when you finally win it, get in that game and win a game, it's an amazing experience.
After talking about tournament titles and experiences, the guys gave me their own predictions on who they think may make it to this year's Final Four, as well as their thoughts on Player of the Year.
You know, I like Duke's chances. I think UConn's got a really good team. And then, you know, I think there'll be some sleeper teams like every year that sneak in there.
So you have Duke, who's right up there, and you got Memphis, who's playing probably the best basketball in the country right now, and Gonzaga's up there, and Connecticut. It's so wide open. Now you got so many players leaving, going to the league, only staying for a year or two. It's watered down college basketball a little bit, so it's kind of, you know, that's why it makes it so wide open.
Of course, your consensus all the time is going to be you know, your Connecticut and your Duke. I think this tournament, no matter who the quote-unquote best teams are, any given night, a Cinderella team could shock someone.
Final Four, I'm going to say Connecticut, Michigan State, Duke, and Villanova.
Question everyone's trying to answer, Player of the Year, Redick or Morrison?
I say co-MVP.
Player of the Year, I'm going to have to go with Morrison.
It's going to come down to the wire. Maybe you get, with those two playing at such a great level, maybe you get those two and have a co.
You know, being a Duke guy, I got to say Redick, but in all fairness, you know, I think if they would split it, that would be fair. I mean, they both deserve it. They're both worthy, and I wouldn't want to be voting for it.
Who will win it all? Duke? UConn? A Cinderella team? Will it be Redick or Morrison for Player of the Year? We'll know come tournament time.
We'll keep our eyes on those Final Four and Player of the Year predictions.
March is Feminine Empowerment Month. That's cool, but more importantly, it means March Madness basketball. Tim Livingston, who is all about feminine empowerment, has a bracketology lesson for all of you. Tim?
Thank you, Doc. What's wrong with female rights? What? It's all about frozen food month anyway. But I'm here to talk about the madness in March as the NCAA men's tournament starts up on Thursday and a field of 64 tries to figure out which team will be left standing in Indianapolis as the 2006 national champs. Here is a look at the brackets. All right, in the Atlanta region, overall #1 seed Duke reigns supreme in a bracket full of questionable placement like GW with an 8 seed and Syracuse with a 5 seed for winning the Big East tourney. Cal gets a 7 seed and starts off the tourney against ACC team NC State. In Oakland, Memphis is the #1 seed in a wide-open bracket that sees UCLA, Gonzaga, Kansas, and Pitt, all with a good shot to move on out of this region. Of course, the star power of this bracket comes from Adam Morrison, who's trying to lead the Zags past the second round for the first time since 2001. In DC, UConn leads the pack with capable competition, Illinois and UNC Tar Heels. Watch out for Seton Hall at the 10 as well. But the big question is, how does Tennessee get a 2 seed with 7 losses? Without a doubt, the most controversial seeding in the tourney. And in Minneapolis, Villanova is the #1 seed with the upset special coming from the BC Eagles, as many people think they will go as far as the Final Four. Don't forget about Florida or Ohio State, two very good teams capable of going the distance. So now that we have the bracket set for you, and hopefully you've caught your breath by now, we will move on to my picks. Yep, my picks for the Sweet 16, starting in the Atlanta region once again. I have the top 4 seeds from this bracket moving on. It's a very tough bracket to pick from here on out, but it's easy to get to this point as Duke will take out a very game GW team. LSU will overpower a hard-nosed Syracuse team led by Mr. Clutch, Jerry McNamara. Iowa will take care of Southern Illinois, who I have upsetting the 3-ball happy West Virginia Mountaineers, and Texas will be able to find an answer to Leon Poe's Cal Bears to move on. In Oakland, I have 4 of the top 5 seeds in, with the 4 seed Kansas falling to Pitt and their leadership headed by senior Carl Krauser. I have Memphis in as well, as they will take care of Bucknell. Yeah, that rhymes. Gonzaga will get an easier game than they bargained for, as they will defeat San Diego State, who will have upset the Indiana Hoosiers in the round of 64, and UCLA should have no problems with 10 seed Alabama in the second round. They're in the Sweet 16 as well. In the DC bracket, one of these things is not like the other. UConn, check. Illinois, check. UNC, check. But Seton Hall? Yeah, Seton Hall will be my upset special, as they are very tough to play against and will take care of the controversial #2 seed in Tennessee in that second round to turn some heads and break some hearts. And finally, in Minneapolis, we get back to normal as the top 4 seeds advance pretty easily. The only surprise coming from Northern Iowa, who will take out a sliding Georgetown Hoya team in the first round, only to lose to Ohio State in the second round. Villanova, Florida, and analyst favorite Boston College round out the field in the Twin Cities. So that's how the field looks to me, and next week I will lead a panel discussion as we look at the team who will advance to Indianapolis and the Final Four. Right now I need another beer, so I send it back to Donk and that cool dude wearing the hat over there at the desk. Keep going, fellas.
Seton Hall, Timmy, come on. Cal is the only local team in the field of 64, but Stanford made the NIT and will face Missouri State after defeating the Virginia Cavaliers this past Tuesday.
USF played host to the Hoyas of Georgetown in a 3-game set at Benedetti Diamond this weekend in a series that would be notable for the pitching and the weather. The color guard doing its thing before the first game of the 3-game set against the Hoyas. Don's coming off a 5-2 loss at Fresno State. Getting it started with right fielder Stephon Gartrell coming in batting .380 with a homer and 15 RBIs. He would make like Mr. Peabody, putting this pitch into the way back machine, sending over the right field scoreboard. Don's up 1-0. Still in the second, runners on first and third. Mitchell Bialowski hits a bomb over the monstrous fence in left. His first long ball of the year gives the Dons a 5-0 lead. Into the top of the third, 2 runs already in for the Hoyas. Jason Dufloth relieves Ryan Muller with the bases loaded and proceeds to put the Hoyas on lockdown. Dufloth strikes out Matthew Magranges on this pitch, and then he'd go on to ring up Derek DeGrees to get out of the jam. Nasty. Dufloth was money the rest of the way as he cased the final batter of the game. Dufloth pitched 5 2/3 in relief for the win, allowing only 1 unearned run and 2 hits with 5 strikeouts. Dons take the game 1, 8-3.
The pitching continued in the second game of the series between the Dons and the Hoyas, but the Hoyas probably should have stayed home because it was all Patrick McGuigan in this one. We go to the bottom of the first. Stephon Gartrell steps into the box and provides all the offense that is really necessary for USF because McGuigan was just on fire all game long. He took the reins in this one and totally shut down the Hoya offense. Good night. Goodbye. See you later. King 12 of Wiedersehen. He threw 116 pitches, 81 of them for strikes. He only allowed 4 base runners the entire game, one of them making it to second base. He had 3 impressive stretches where he retired 7, 8, and 9 batters in a row. No walks, a complete game shutout for McGuigan. USF wins 5-0. McGuigan earned the WCC Pitcher of the Week award for his performance, and we'll have more on him later in the show. So, Jeff, you're going to do it, huh?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Just do it.
I'm the leprechaun.
We'll be back after these messages.
My name's Davey, and I want to tell you about my friend, Glitch. He's done some pretty dopey things, like rollerblading down a roller coaster. He even thought he could be a pro wrestler. Then he thought he could fly. And once, some kids tried to get him to do drugs.
Beat it! I've done some dopey things, but I'll never do dope.
Drug-free's the way to be.
Dude, wanna just rock the road tonight? No, thanks. I'm gonna chill. Wanna do some skateboarding at the mall? Nah, I'm not into it.
You thought smoking pot would take you places you'd never been. So how come you're going nowhere?
You know, Ryan, those PSAs get me all choked up inside.
You know what, Jeff? I think you should just sit the next few plays out. Before the break, we saw Patrick McGuigan shut out the Georgetown Hoyas for his 3rd win of the season. We caught up with McGuigan to talk to him about that game and his USF career.
McGuigan is USF's single-season and all-time saves leader. On Saturday, he got a rare start and responded with the best game of his career, striking out 12 en route to a 2-hit shutout. How did this Hawaii native even end up coming to USF?
Well, my sister graduated from the University of San Francisco in '96, and so I knew about the school and the program, and I heard through her that the baseball program was doing a lot of good things. And I talked to the coach, and I made a decision to come here. I wanted to get away from Hawaii, but still be close enough that I could get home when I wanted to, and San Francisco seemed like a great city to be in.
Patrick also talked to us about the difference between starting and closing.
Well, obviously when closing, you just want to get the game over with as soon as possible. Just come in and close the game out and just finish the game right there. And when you're starting, I think the mentality difference is maybe you think about trying to eat up as many innings as you can. Obviously, you want to stay out there to give your team the best chance of winning for as long as possible. And whereas closing, you're there to shut the door, and that's going to be it. When you come out, the game is over. I think having the same mentality for both opportunities is a good thing to have. A lot of times I just try to think of closing every inning during my starts.
We asked Patrick about how the team prepared for Georgetown and their team goals for the season.
Well, I knew that on Wednesday I was going to be starting on Saturday, so I had a little bit more time to prepare for it. I knew that Georgetown would be a good match for our pitching staff, because we're able to locate our off-speed pitches very well and command both sides of a plate with a fastball. So we looked for a good weekend from the pitching staff, and we were able to get it. I think we just executed a lot of pitches. I was able to execute the game plan that we set out to do, and it proved to be successful on Saturday. Cleanup hitter, Kraft was his last name. I think he was probably their most dangerous hitter, and we knew coming in that he would be the one that would be able to hurt us the most with one swing. And so we had kind of a red flag on him, I guess you could say. And it helped a lot that we were able to keep the other hitters off balance. It was able to open up a lot more opportunities as far as pitching to him and executing more of what our game plan was towards him.
Kraft would go 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Finally, Patrick talked about how it feels being the USF single-season and all-time saves leader.
Well, I think it's definitely a great personal accomplishment. I think it's good for the program. We've been moving forward in the last couple of years, and it's good to be able to set new records and reach new heights, as the program is saying. It's a good way for people to see that the program is moving in a good direction, and Coach has a lot of good things going on. Our goals were obviously to win the conference this year. We had a strong year last year, and we're hoping that we can win the conference this year and get into the NCAA tournament. Everybody knew that coming into the season, and I think as our games are going by, we're getting a lot closer to playing how we want to and getting closer to achieving that goal.
While Patrick McGuigan came into the season as the Dons' closer, injuries to the starting staff have put him into the starting rotation, where he leads the team in innings, wins, strikeouts, and complete games.
Coming into Game 3 of the USF Georgetown series, it had been all Dons. Could the Hoyas change their luck, or would this rainbow prove to have no pot of gold?
Wow.
It rained all morning on Sunday, but the USF grounds crew did their best to make the field playable. USF's Ryan Anderson strikes out Georgetown's big Ryan Kraft in the second. Anderson responded to his spot start opportunity with 6 Ks and 5 scoreless innings. To the bottom of the second we go, Jonathan Norfolk on second and Blake Nelson at the plate. Nelson smokes one to right, but Drew Dargan would throw a strike to home, and Norfolk would be out at the dish, and Norfolk, let me tell you, was not happy about that. And on we go to the bottom of the third, 2 outs and 1 in for the Dons. Stephon Gartrell lofts one into right center. Should be an easy out to end the inning, but Dargan muffs it, and USF puts 2 more on the boards. Dons 3, Hoyas nothing. Georgetown would threaten in the top of the fourth, but Norfolk would gun down Mark McLaughlin on the steal attempt, taking the bat out of Ryan Kraft's hands. USF would add 1 more in the fourth, but then Mother Nature would rob the Hoyas of their chance for a comeback as the game was called due to rain in the bottom of the fifth. That is enough for an official game though, and USF wins 4-0. Georgetown goes 0-8 on their California road trip. USF dominated the series, outscoring the Hoyas by a combined score of 17-3, and their pitchers struck out 27 Georgetown batters.
CSR's Michelle Dapper will now dazzle us with her final thought.
Thanks, Ryan. 3 NBA teams hope to have a bit of luck of the Irish with them as they compete this St. Patrick's Day week. In New York, the New York Knicks, the Chicago Bulls, and the Boston Celtics are sporting green special edition jerseys to celebrate this lucky holiday. What's this all about? Okay, the Celtics, I can understand the concept. All things Irish are at the very essence of being a Celtic. Their name, their logo, their colors, and yes, even their city. But what do the Knicks and the Bulls have to do with any of this? Come on now. I think the franchises need to focus a little more on the game. Or wait, how about winning games instead of worrying about playing dress up and promoting a Hallmark holiday? The Bulls, a record 29-35. The Knicks, a dismal 17-45. Where's the focus? These teams have had fierce rivalries with each other for over the past 3 decades. Names like Michael Jordan, Patrick Ewing, and Larry Bird used to be on the marquees of these arenas. But now, these teams need a reason to sell jerseys. I understand the teams come from cities with strong Irish descent, but really, where's the representation on the court? These guys need to have their heads more in the game rather than worrying about the shamrocks on their jerseys. So this St. Patrick's Day, don't forget to kick back a few cold ones and enjoy the wonderful sport of basketball. I'm Michelle Dapper with your final thought. Back to you, Ryan.
Thank you, Michelle. MJ would have never gone for green jerseys. Ridiculous.
For those of you playing the CSR home game, we have an email quiz. Today's question: who were the first foreign-born MLB players to hit 400 and 500 home runs? Enter our quiz by sending an email to mailcsr@gmail.com. The first 5 players to enter will be put into a raffle to win free movie passes. And this.
And get this, now you can watch CSR online. That's right. No more waiting and waiting and waiting for the weekend to catch the show. You can watch CSR every day. Go to myspace.com/CSR SFSU, or you can holler at us about anything we say or do on the show. Email us at mailcsr@gmail.com. That's all we have for you today, folks.
We hope you've enjoyed the science we've been dropping. We've certainly enjoyed dropping it.
For all of us at CSR, I'm Ryan Dunk.
And I'm Jeff Hudspeth.
Adios, amigos.
And Mary McGregor, well, she was a pretty whore. She'd always greet you with a smile and never lock her door. But on the day she died, all the men in town did weep. For Mary McGregor finally got some sleep. We'll drink and drink and drink and drink and drink and drink and fight. We'll drink and drink and drink and drink and drink and drink and fight. And if I see a pretty girl, I'll sleep with her tonight. It's a drink and drink and drink and drink and drink and drink and fight.
And here comes Chris Hill, 4'6" out of Jefferson Elementary, a confident young man with a great stride. But, uh-oh, he might be in trouble now.
Hey, Chris. Want to get high?
No way, man. That stuff's for losers.
Oh, what a move! Chris Hill never hesitates, just blows past that guy. Bob?
You're right, Mike. Look, Chris is known for his great head shake. Then he shifts his weight to the right foot, finds a hole, and zip, he's out of there.
Spectacular, just spectacular. This kid's got a bright future.